making coq au vin, so classic chicken and red wine, classic French dish. But we're not going to be just making it one way. I'm going to be showing you to make it two ways. So it's a little experiment, and you'll get to see kind of the differences between cooking in an electric slow cooker and cooking in the oven. So yeah, I had a little bit of fun with this. So it's a really simple recipe. I think you'll really enjoy either method. Stick around to the end to find out which was our favourite. Okay, so we're having a little slow cooker experiment today. So I've just put halved 4 baby kind of onions, brown onions, yellow onions. Put them in the pan, so I've got them in the Le Creuset, the same amount in the slow cooker. And pop the chickens in on top of the onion. Okay, so and the other chicken, give it a wipe out in the cavity. It goes in on top of the onions. Just kind of snuggle them, nestle them in so that they're not sticking up too much. And we'll get rid of icky chicken things. And then for the slow cooker, I'm putting in half the amount of liquid. So we've got 3/4 of a cup there of red wine. And I'm going to use for the same amount of tomato paste for both. So about 4 tablespoons. That can just go in around the chicken, or you can put it on top if you wanted. So 4 tablespoons tomato paste, be kind of generous in both. Put 1.5 cups, so we'll double the amount that we used in the slow cooker, and that's going to be the only difference apart in the recipe. So only difference apart from the cooking method. I'm going to sprinkle over some salt, so really generously on the breast. If you've got the mushrooms, just going to get some paper towel because these look a little bit on the dirty side, so only kind of just wipe any dirty bits off. And then we're going to just trim the stalks. I'm going to leave them whole and put them in now because they're going to have plenty of time to cook, and I think it's kind of nice to have that contrast. Like the mushrooms will shrink down quite a bit, so I'll just divide these mushrooms between. Okay, so we'll check back on them in probably a couple of hours. Okay, so the chickens have been on for about 2 hours. So I'll just open up, have a look. And this is, of course, the oven chook. So still really super moist, and mushies are cooking down a bit. Flesh is quite firm, but yeah, looking lovely. And have a look. So even after 2 hours, you can see there's quite a difference in the colour of the chickens. The slow cooker chicken's looking much paler and kind of actually it's looking moister. They feel about the same. Probably back in the oven. I'm just going to baste some of the red wine juices over the top of both chickens, just to give a bit of colour, share the red wine love. So there we go. So this actually, yeah, this sauce is much more watery in the slow cooker chook. Okay, so our chickens have been in for 2.5 hours. 4.5, another 2.5 hours since the last time we checked. So it's 4.5 hours all up. Quite a big difference in colour, even though we basted them both. The oven in the casserole dish is definitely significantly browner. It's got like a little crust forming on it. By comparison, the paroled chicken in the slow cooker looks positively anemic. Feeling them, both feeling quite. Actually, the slow cooker one's possibly feeling a bit firmer, but yeah, both kind of feeling like they're getting there in terms of doneness. So we'll have a look at the veg as well. So the sauce in the slow cooker really super watery. Look at that. Okay, so 2 chickens, both have been in for 5 hours now, and so the chicken from the oven, well and truly done. The legs really loose. It's actually starting to fall off. So I'm just going to carve that off and put it aside so that we can have a little little taste test, and I'll also grab out, so, and you can also see like there's quite a bit of juice. There's actually more juice here, but we did start off with more wine to begin with. But it looks really lovely and kind of reddish brown, kind of standard coq au vin kind of colour. Comparison, the slow cooker, the sauce is starting to colour up. So I'll just grab a sample of that. It's definitely looking a lot better than it did half an hour ago. Not as much difference in it as there was before. And I'll grab out the mushroom. So the mushrooms are looking cooked. And there's definitely a lot less liquid in here, but we did start out with half a cup less. And then in terms of doneness, this is the legs. Yeah, it looks like it's almost there, but it's not super loose. So it's probably, you know, it looks pretty cooked. It's still just a slight touch of pigment. So I'm gonna pull that out just to taste, so I can have a comparison at the same time. But I'm going to leave this in, and I'll grab an onion out, and I'm going to leave this in cooking, you know, just with the lid on until we get to this same degree of doneness. And that's our experiment. The results of our taste testing, I didn't want to actually video me eating it because that would be a bit gross. But yeah, so it was interesting actually. My Irishman tasted with me, and we actually found that the slow cooker chicken was more moist, and the flesh was more succulent than the chicken cooked in the oven. But we found that the chicken cooked in the oven had far superior flavour. You know, had a lot going on. It tasted like coq au vin, whereas the chicken in the dish kind of just tasted like, you know, red wine with a bit of chicken kind of thing. So I actually preferred the one from the oven. But my Irishman, he's more of a texture person, I guess. So he said if he had to choose, he'd go for the texture. So there you go. It's really up to what's important to you.